Does your furry friend take over your bed every night? It's time to reclaim your space while giving them the comfort they deserve with the coldest, cozy dog bed. Don't wait. Check out the link in the video description to buy now on Amazon.
A child abuser jailed for 20 years got off lucky, according to a victim who wanted to kill him after being forced to have sex with a dog. The foul smell of the animal-filled flat where Anthony Fowler, 74, committed his crimes still haunts his victims, aged between 6 and 10 at the time in the 1990s. Fowler kept numerous cats, budgies and dogs, including an Alsatian wolf mix he forced one of his victims to penetrate after he had demonstrated it himself. He would often gag the boy, telling him to shush before sexually abusing him, leaving him so scared at bedtime, as I knew something was going to happen to me. All I wanted as a child was to have a family, or normal happy childhood, which was not for me, he said in a victim impact statement read out in court. Despite being scared to death by Fowler, who threatened him if he ever spoke out, the boy did try to alert his mother, only to find she didn't believe him. Reading his victim impact statement in court, he said, "One day I did tell my mother, but she did not take my word for it and I had to stay another week going through more abuse. It took another 30 years, during which he suffered flashbacks, made suicide attempts, and continued wetting the bed, before bringing Fowler to justice." He had wanted to chase Fowler and kill him after seeing his attacker on the bus, but his wife asked him to stop before reporting the abuse to police herself. Facing Fowler, who sat shaking his head, the man said, "I have suffered for more than 30 years. I want my life back. I knew what this man was capable of, especially when I saw him that day. You're lucky, I could have killed you. But I didn't. We need to keep our children safe from predators like him. I read the article, and he has been doing it since the 60s. I need to move on with my life, and I hope you rot in hell." Fowler's other victim, who was 6 at the time, recalled screaming and begging his mom not to send him back to the living nightmare of the sexual abuse. He told the court, "I wished it was a terrible dream or not for it all to be real. Sadly, it was all a real nightmare. I was so ashamed of how embarrassing it was, I could not even raise this to my family." Fowler, of Duncombe Road, Upper Holloway, has now been sentenced to 20 years in prison after being found guilty of committing 8 sex offenses against the 2 boys in the early 1990s. This includes 16 years, plus 1 year on license, for committing boogery against the older victim. He got 4 years for the indecent assault against the younger victim, which the judge described as being committed for Fowler's own sexual gratification. Until now, Fowler has escaped time behind bars for his history of sexually abusing children. He forced his penis into a 4-year-old boy's mouth in 1969, he lured another 4-year-old with sweets before fumbling him in a garage in 1978, and he sexually assaulted a boy, 9, in 1980. He also exposed his penis to a woman, whose crotch he grabbed outside her home, in 1974. Fowler received probation orders for those offenses. He received an 8-week prison sentence suspended for a year in 2019 for possession of a bladed article. Yoga teacher used her body as a shield to protect children from Southport knife man. Baby skeleton found under floorboards by construction workers. Zero sympathy for Southport rioter bricked in the head, chest and privates. M25 comes to a standstill after crash as Dartford Tunnel faces long delays. Sentencing him yesterday, Judge Cohen said, "I'm entirely satisfied on the evidence I have heard from the victim, along with the victim's statement that was read out, and the depraved nature of the offending against him, that he has been caused extremely severe psychological harm by your conduct." The judge added, "Could I thank the 2 victims for their courage in coming forward? This was a serious case and everyone recognizes how difficult it must have been. One hopes the outcome can provide you with some closure." Fowler's offenses against the older victim would have been considered rape of a child under 13 if they were committed now. Law changes also meant that a charge of boogery for having sex with his own dog had to be dropped because it was not illegal at the time. Get in touch with our news team by emailing us at webnews@metro.co.uk. For more stories like this, ch.